What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining on the Dance Floor podcast, the only podcast for dancers here in San Antonio. Joining me with all the right moves, we have a big warm welcome for this year's 2025 winner of My San Antonio Quince Best Choreography and Best Dance Crew, La Jolla Choreography. Woo! Give it up! Oh, y'all can be louder than that. Come on, let's go. Introducing the owner, director, and head choreographer. Give it up for Miss Joel. So what's going on, everybody? How was your day today?
It was good. It was a long day.
Yeah.
I played tennis, and so I played tennis this morning.
Nice.
Yeah, I know.
You're
I was living the Real Housewives dream.
You're the first person that I know that plays tennis.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know anybody.
I was the poor tennis player growing up. I just showed up with my Walmart racket. And like everybody had their big bags, and it kind of stuck. I hadn't played in like 20 years, and I just got back into it.
Nice. It happens. Sometimes you got to take that break, you know? Awesome. So who do you have here with you?
So I have here several people. So we have Sierah, Marissa, Danny, Joelle, all kind of like spread out as far as like how long they've been with me. A couple of them go way back, and then we have recent, not recent, but like in the span of years, it feels recent. But we've been in business for what's going on 12 years.
Wow. Awesome.
Right? Yes, 12 years.
And some of them have been with you since then?
No,
since the beginning?
No. When I started, I had my little boombox, and I did, in the backyards and parks, in the front driveway,
Yeah,
that's
okay.
what we do.
Hey, that's how you start, right? That's how you start. You got to start somewhere.
Yes, no, for sure. And so Sierra's been with me since what year?
2021, I think.
2021?
Almost. Because I just graduated high school.
Well,
Wow.
no, I think you briefly. Well, so she
We started
she went
and
in
then-
as a dancer in like 2020, right before everything COVID happened. And then Danny was with me before that. We don't speak at that time. This fool tries to tell me the day of the Miss Jewel, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stand in the skis anymore. And I'm like, you got to be freaking kidding me, bro.
Oh, so you were the one that was always backing out, kind of?
No.
Okay.
Can you tell we're like a whole family?
Yeah.
Mob mentality. No, he called
The
before
dance
the
mob, my
rehearsal,
time.
right? I was right before the rehearsal. He's like, I can't do it. I have this. I think it was because of a football. What
yes.
is it? 8 on 8, 6 on. What is it called?
Oh,
7 on 7?
Yeah,
What is it called? 8 on 8.
It's 7 on 7.
So it was a number. I knew it was something, but so it was football. And then I was just like, are you serious? He's like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I was so mad. I won't even lie. But luckily, COVID happened.
COVID.
So the event ended up getting canceled anyway. So it was
lucky
like,
you, yeah.
Yeah.
So it worked out. And then when did you come back?
We came back probably around like 2023.
2023. And he's like, so.
Surprise.
Well, you can try. I was just like, only because it worked out for you the way like
It
it ended. I was just like, because it didn't like burn after all, as far as like how it didn't burn the bridge completely.
Okay.
I was just like, all right, let's try it, and he's been here ever since. So
Awesome. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and introduce every single one of you guys. I already forgot y'all's names. You're like, okay, we already forgot yours too, buddy. Ladies first. Okay, so go ahead and start with you, and then when you're done, you can pass the mic with her, and then you. So.
Yeah, so I'm Sierra. So like Joe said, I started off kind of like my senior year of high school, and then COVID happened. And for a while there, like, I know business is hard. Like, everybody was getting hit. So once it started coming back, it was almost perfect because after high school, I was like, oh, you know what? Like, I love to dance, but it's never going to happen again for me. Like, it's just something that's, like, if I don't go out and find it, like, it's okay. Like, I'll live with it. And then I got a message from Jewel, hey, do you want to try to start teaching and being an instructor? And I was like, it felt like, oh my goodness. I was like, yeah. And
Awesome.
I've been here ever since.
So how long before dancing were you dancing before you became an instructor?
Ever since I was like junior high, like kid, I've always been the one to like baby, like bouncing on the table, dancing, and
Gotcha.
like some studio, but my mom said I never liked it because if I wasn't in the front or by myself, I would cry. So that
Sounds about right.
should explain itself.
I
But
think as far as the dancing, like with the group, I think like maybe a year and a half-ish
before
maybe.
coming back,
Yeah. Oh, and then plus some of the quinces. But yeah, no, she danced for about like a year and a half or so, and then it was half a year of like still me shadowing or her shadowing with me and like, you know, letting her like, hey, slow down. Because I remember her first rehearsal that she was, I was just like, okay, you go. This is the routine. I taught her the routine. I was like, this is what you're going to teach. I'm just going to like, only if I need to jump in, I'll jump in and like help you. And so she was like, all right, we're going to do wepa. And she started going through and I was like, hold on, they might not know what a wepa is.
I remember I just
Right.
I like turned around and saw no movement and I said, oh, okay.
Well, because like wepas, they're kind of new now, right? Wepa's a new thing now.
Yeah, well,
Everybody's doing it.
It was newer to me when I first joined.
It was new. It was new and not, well, no, I wouldn't even say that. Like, I
guess
feel like the
popularity-wise?
wepa came out more in like, well, no, I mean, the style of it like blowing up, I think was like 2017, 2018-ish. It was always around, but we knew it as like Colombiano. 'Cause that was
Yes,
like
yes.
pasore de-
So yeah, okay, so who has been here the longest?
Technically me, yeah. I've
Yeah.
been the longest. So
How-
I joined back in like 2020,
That's
2020, I think?
Mm-hmm.
No, 2019.
No, it's like 2019.
Yeah, 2019. I
Yeah.
joined when I was like 14, 15.
I was looking
Nice.
at old videos. I saw one of you and I was like, oh, baby Danny.
We call him Baby Danny.
Baby
in this
Danny.
video.
That's what his mom calls him. And so it's
Gotcha.
stuck. Yeah, baby Danny.
Yeah, no, I've been here since 2019. I started dancing when I did one of my friends' Quinces.
That's
And
where we all
Jewel was
started.
Like, I remember it was Jewel and Tristan, and they were like, "Do this move," and I was like, "All right," and I did it, and then they were like, "Okay, now do this
Do
after
this
that."
move.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Okay, try to learn this whole routine."
You're like, oh God.
Learn these 8 counts right
Yeah,
now.
they taught me in about like 10, 15 minutes. I remember my friends were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm just dancing with them."
These strange
And
people are telling me to dance.
remember
I know,
she was
right?
Like, she was like, "Hey, do you want to like try out for like my group that I have?" And at the time, I couldn't because I had to go do a college program
Mhm.
in UT, and so I was like, I can't make it to the tryouts. I was like, but like I'll be down to like do my separate one. And she
Right.
was like, "No, you're good. Like you can just." She was like, "You can just be here. Like you don't have to try out. Like you can just join the group."
Y'all had a little thing about like you were saying that you were like having football and stuff, right? And I know a lot of the times the guys they're all involved in football. Even I had dancers that were in football too. So how does it go from being in football and then coming to dance? Like, did you do football and dance?
No, it was just like I always liked to dance. Like I
Mhm.
grew up in a family that like we were always like playing music, dancing in the house, and so it was just like second nature that I had. Like I was, able to know footwork and just like be able to pick up like super duper easily. So
Right.
it was just something that like was always like I always knew how to do. So like I always knew how to dance, and I always like wanted to like do different things and just like be. I don't know, the best. the best
When
at anything.
When Danny came back, he what was the quote that you said? You
Oh,
said,
I was like, I can.
I remember Danny when he said it. I was like, this guy.
I was like, oh, I can do anything if I try hard enough. Like,
Right.
You know, he's like, if I put my mind to it, he's like, I could do anything. I was like, okay, Danny.
I still
So would you be at football practice also dancing? And because I had a guy who would be like, he'd be at football practice and he'd be dancing. Some of the football players would be like, oh, teach me. And
No, Danny quit before he like did because that's when you did 7-on-7, right?
Yeah.
That's
no,
what, yeah.
I was always
So he like throughout his football career in high school, he took his break, well, quote unquote, his break, and then he came back
Yeah. but
afterwards.
we were
But
always,
but
I mean,
we-
same thing. I've always been able to like just dance wherever.
To me, man, I'd say I'd rather dance or play football. What do you think?
no, whenever he came back, I said, Danny, so I know you can flip because I saw you do it at one of your football games.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was
Gotcha.
like, so you know you're doing
Yeah.
that in our shows now, right?
Yeah,
So
I
yeah.
ended up doing.
Yeah.
I'm doing those flips till like I couldn't anymore.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and our other boys that are involved in sports, because we have several boys that are in football or soccer and baseball. Yeah, like you name the sport at a track, they probably do it, and so they do both simultaneously.
Dance is a sport.
Yes, dance is a sport too. But I mean, like the athletic sports that they actually give
Right.
money towards
Right.
in high school in Texas.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha.
yeah.
Dancers that
Yeah,
would work
I
with
think if you're an athlete, you can. I always when I have boys that come in and they're like, man, like I'm too shy to dance, or like they're always like off to the side. I'm like, I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're an athlete, you can dance.
Yeah.
You
can-
perform.
Yeah, you
You're
can.
built to perform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. You gotta go to Joel.
So go to the next one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Go, Joel.
Awesome story, bro. Awesome story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, thank you.
My story's not that great. I'm Joel. I started back in 2021, I believe, or was I can't remember if I was looking into choreography.
It was 2021 because you were supposed to have your Sweet and
2020.
Suave 16 or 15 in 2020, but then it got
Right.
pushed out because of COVID.
Man,
Okay,
COVID messed up
yeah.
everything for y'all, right?
Yeah, and then I ended up hiring Jewel for my choreography and for my 16 that I shared with my two younger cousins. And from there, I think like a month after, or a few weeks or a month after, Jewel reached out to my mom, and she she was asking if my two friends, Gabby and then Katrina. So I wasn't even. I was like the third string.
Yeah.
It was the two girls and then Jewel.
To be fair, they're amazing dancers.
They
So,
are.
I
Shout out
learned
to
to
Katrina.
dance from one of my friends because I didn't want to. Well, not that I didn't want to do. I'm like a mother-daughter, father-daughter dance, but my mom. It was actually my mom's idea that to do a dance by myself and like started off our surprise dance with Jewel. So my friend, she's been doing cheer for like all her life, and or Gabby Garcia, she made up a routine from a song that I chose, called "Coming In Hot" by Andy Mineo. I don't know if you. Yeah,
If I hear it,
Coming In
maybe.
Hot. Yeah,
If
Coming
I
In
hear
Hot.
it, I'm good with music, just not the artist. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Most, but I do a lot. But yeah, so that song. From there, I guess she saw the
That's
potential
like, how's the battery thing there?
for what was to come. Because
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Right. I don't think any of us did.
Yeah, right.
Speak for yourselves.
Yeah, Jewel just has the eye for picking out
Talent.
Talent, yeah.
Sure
For
do.
me, it's just more about the attitude and like if you have the desire and want to actually perform, and if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, and you're gonna put your
Right.
best foot forward. Because
Right.
we've had people that come in and like try, but it's like, oh well, I can't do it, and they
Yeah.
just kind of close off, and it's like, okay, well maybe this just isn't the team for you, and that's
Right.
okay. Like every different strokes for different folks, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
Marissa is actually
My
Joel's sister.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
piggyback off of his story. So he
Are you
hired.
older sister? I'm sorry.
I'm the older sister, yes.
Okay.
Can I get away with that?
Awesome. Okay.
No, so I actually wasn't at any of his practices when he hired Jewel for the quinceañera, so I didn't meet her until the event,
Okay.
which was sometime in May or June.
It was like July.
I was working somewhere else at the time, actually, and when
were you
she,
working?
I was working at Garcia Properties at the hall.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so I was working there, and I, moved around a bit. Before I settled with Jewel, I moved around a bit, and I was working at Garcia Properties. Before that, I was working at Chick-fil-A. I was going to school, so I was very busy. And my parents weren't able to take him to the practices for Jewel because she had just hired him. And they were taking him every once in a while, but they would ask me to take him wherever he needed to be. One of these rehearsals was at her house, okay? So I was curious because I hadn't seen her work with anyone before.
Right.
And I wanted to, kind of see what everything was about. And Joelle was going over, I think it was Gasolina. We were doing a routine.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And she was like, you're turning on 1, 2, turn on 3, right? And he kept missing the beat, sorry. not to drop you like that.
You gotta
but
start somewhere,
he was
right?
missing the beat. And I was like, Joelle, 3, 4, on 3, turn on 3, no, on
Oh, so
3.
you were the sideline voice.
I was the sideline. I was getting after him. And she was kind of like, oh, and then I can't remember which client, was it Genesis? It was one of our girls. Anyway, so the point of that was she was trying to teach her how to do the SpongeBob. And Jewel was explaining it, and I was like, wow, that's a really good way to explain it. And then I wanted to try it, so I was like, okay, I want to try it. So then I started doing it, and I was like, oh, see, like it's not so bad. And then Joel didn't know how to do it either, so I had to show him how to do it. I had to show him how to do it, and from there it kind of just happened organically, where
Yeah.
I ended up, Jewel was like, hey, so I'm looking for instructors, and if you'd like to maybe talk about joining the group. I said, okay. Like,
Right.
I was open to something new.
Right.
So it was interesting. I didn't really consider myself to be a dancer. I know some of us said it, not Sierra, but some of us didn't start off that way. Like I did cheer in high school. I did a little bit of dance. I had background in things like that, but I had never really dance was not like my big thing. But then I ended up loving it. So.
Right.
And
I think we can all agree to that. I mean, because I didn't think I was going to be where I'm at today, There was no plan on it, you know what I mean? It's just going with the flow, and it's like, okay, so.
That I will say, I didn't envision like having a studio. I will say that. That was like, what? So that was cool.
So for the viewers out there, because I don't know either, how do you do a SpongeBob?
Do it.
Do it.
Well, like I think
We need the
then
music,
We would have
right?
to like.
Yeah, you wanna?
No, it's
I-
too
no,
right.
it's
It's
too-
very
I don't know if it'll-
No, we can't put on the
You can't
music
see-
because
you can't see the feet either.
Yeah.
Copyright. We can't, because the copyright.
Yeah. No, just do it. Just show us how to do it. Just, yeah.
Well, like, but you
Oh,
can't see my
workshop, we're gonna workshop.
There you go.
Well, I
do
don't
you do
think
a
it's my
SpongeBob?
feet, but you jump. It's one leg out, and then so.
Oh,
you
yeah,
jump
yeah.
out, And then as you come in, and then jump out, bring it. Jump out,
Gotcha.
bring it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I've seen that one. There you go. Hey, that's what's up.
Move a lot. We could pull up clips. We did move a lot when we first started.
Yeah. It's like when you first learn to move, you always want to do it, right? Yeah. I get
Big
it.
step that she would make people try when she was when Joelle started.
When we're
she
scouting?
made him- she made him do the SpongeBob.
Oh, that and Poison. I remember that was the first song I
That's-
ever
that-
learned.
That was
Honestly,
that's-
the poison routine,
Go.
the SpongeBob, and what else? Oh, a little bit of the heel toe. When we do the whenever
When
we
you,
do heel
like-
toe, when we like bring it out.
No,
Yeah,
I
those are
remember.
like the moves that I'm like, if you can do these moves, I could work with you.
Wepas
Real
are
quick,
not-
hello.
Yeah, let's go to the comments.
To Uvaldo, hello. Sonia, Griselda. Yes, we can't wait to start
Thank you
working
guys for
with
joining.
either. Ray, Briella's dad. Mr. Ray, yeah. Araceli, thank you. She said, hello, great team ever. My daughter's Quince was fire. Thank you. My husband, Danny Salinas, baby Danny. Woo!
Hey.
Juan, Christina Mora, hello, Margie Rodriguez, Abby's dances were fire, thank you, Joanna, I love the wall art. Oops, what the, Joanna, SpongeBob,
Yeah, if you just.
yes, yay, so hello to everybody, that's
So
fun.
the reason why I know you guys is because before the whole what would you say, competition or ceremonies, the word playing, the nominations. I would see you guys always get I would see you guys on the Facebook, the Quinceañera page.
My
You guys,
San
yeah,
Antonio
you guys
Quinceañera?
always get, and that's why
Or
I
the
see
San Antonio
everybody.
Quinceañera planning, right?
Yeah,
Facebook
that
group,
one, and then
yeah.
so I would see you guys on there, and so it wasn't until last year when we met, we had the whole the ceremony nominations and stuff. You were nominated, I was nominated and stuff. So, but yeah, we'll go into.
we got together for lunch, because I didn't get to go to the word ceremony.
Oh, you didn't go?
No, I didn't
Oh, I
go.
didn't go either.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to work.
Why'd you say we met there?
No, we met. Well, because I don't know what they call it. I don't know if it's a competition. Okay, so I'm not big on competition. To me, that is out of my vocabulary, bro. But it was a fun experience. But it was also fun. And usually, like, okay, I was thinking, like, man, this isn't me. I wanted to kind of drop out of it. I'm like, man, it's not me. You know what I mean? So, anyways, big shout out to my San Antonio Quince for doing something like this, because it brought us together, and it brought it kind of build for us as well. You know what I mean? So I mean, now that you guys have the title for the 2025, best Quinceañera choreography, and I've seen y'all's videos, y'all are fucking awesome. Okay, y'all are. I give my my flowers, my kudos to those who deserve it, and you guys deserve it,
Thank you.
So, congratulations on you guys.
Thank
So we're gonna
you,
go ahead
thank
and go into that. Did you tell your story already? So where did you start dancing?
No.
Oh, just when you started the
Uh,
company?
When did you start dancing?
So for me, nothing like in high school, none of that. Cause same thing with Sierra. Like, well, I remember being little, and my mom tried to put me in elementary, like the cheer dance teams that I think it was, what was it called? I think it was like Lone Star something. So shout out maybe to them. I don't know. I don't know if that's the name, but I remember going to the weekly practices. We go to a local elementary, and I just remember being super bored because
Right.
they were doing the same thing over and over again, and I was like, maybe we should do this. And like the coaches and instructors were like, no, like we gotta, slow it down. Not all of our teammates know the routine. And I was just like, well, they should practice.
But yes, that's true, right? It really is true. That's why when you guys said somebody comes in, they try and they're like, no, it's not for me. Well, you need to practice.
Yeah.
Practice
no,
makes
yeah,
what?
it's perfect.
No, it does not. It makes progress.
Perfect, yeah.
Practice makes progress. There's no perfect.
Perfect practice makes.
So just kind of side note, like you said, you're not we are all super competitive people.
I'm not secretly, but I'm not like, I'm the best. I can beat you. No, that's not me. Yes.
It's very it's very much work speaks for itself.
Yes,
So,
for sure. Yeah, no, like when flowers are deserved, we definitely give people their kudos and stuff. So it's like, oh, that was an awesome show, good job, whatever it is. But yeah, no, that's why we kind of like when you're like, we're not competitive, and I'm like, oh, if you only knew.
I mean, it's like a competition to an extent. You can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. We have fun with the competition, and me too as well. So that's what I should have said.
Yeah, yeah,
We have fun with it.
I know, yeah. So yeah, being with those with the little kids when I was in elementary, this little girl saying like, oh, like I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, this is boring. We're not learning anything new. And so fast forward, my cousins were having quinces and everything, but I was the youngest of my family, and so it was hard. Like usually I wouldn't get invited to stand, and everybody's like, you're too little, and I was like, well, I don't want to stand at your quince anyway. But I really did. And then finally there was one quince, or Sweet 16, I'm sorry. They needed another person, and I was like, oh, so now you want me to stand in a Sweet 16? What? And so I stood in it, and I was like 13, and I remember helping choreograph, and I was just like,
13.
yeah, 13.
Wow.
Yeah, I was with like 16-year-olds helping them like do everything. And so did that, went into college.
How
and
was
then
your patience at 13 and doing all that?
I mean, I just remember making it up and then like just being like, no, you're doing it wrong. But that's actually a good point. I never even thought of it that way. But college, I did our sorority strolls, and we did step shows and stuff. That was fun.
Step. I remember step shows.
Yeah,
Do they still do that?
Yeah.
Do they?
Yes.
I mean, now, but like, talking about like at
Yes.
school.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. It's definitely still big.
I guess I just
Yeah.
kind of said my age there a little bit,
No, we're the same age.
We are?
Yes,
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
we're
yeah,
the same
yeah.
age. Anyhow, so did that in college, and then got married, had my baby, and then I remember we went to a quince. It was me and my husband only. This was before my daughter was born, and I remember looking at the choreo and being like, that wasn't really good.
Really?
Yeah, no,
yeah.
and then like somebody was passing out cards and it said for choreography, and I was like, word, somebody paid for that. So I was just like, I could
There's the
totally.
shade. There you go. There's the shade.
I was like, I could totally do that. I looked at my husband. I was like, babe, I could totally do this. And he was like, yeah, whatever. Like, sure, babe. Yeah, you could do anything. You can do
that's
anything
good.
you set your mind to. And I know, yeah. So I was like, no, but seriously, babe, I think I could do it. And he's like, no, sí, amor, está bien. And I was like, okay. And so then I went onto a random website, and it said you could look at other vendors. And in my mind, I'm just like, well, I don't even know like where I would begin or how it's like how you even set up packages,
Right.
like totally new. And so
Right.
I set up a profile thinking that I was going to be able to see everything else, and it asked for a business name, and I had no clue what to put. And I was like, Jewel, and I was like, screw it, I'll just translate my name in Spanish, and I'd put La Jolla.
That's
And
what I was
so,
gonna ask,
yeah,
too.
that's all I did, and no thought process into it whatsoever. And yeah, and then Forgot all, I did the whole thing, couldn't see anything, and I was like, well, that was a waste of my time, and I got all defeated. But so about a year later, I get a phone call from this lady, and she's like, yeah, I got your number from a DJ. They said that you do choreography, and I was like, you got my number from who? I'm doing the old phone. I just realized I should do that. No, and I was like, how did you get my number? She's like, from a DJ. And in my head, I'm like, the only DJs I knew were in Fort Worth whenever I was in school up there going to the clubs. I was like, I don't know how she got my number. And so then it ended up being that she got my number from that website that I
Gotcha.
randomly put the information in. And then so, yeah, out of a whim. And so I went and met her. We discussed everything, and I threw out a number that I was like, okay. In my head, I was like, there's no way she's gonna book me.
Right.
And then she's like, okay, and I was like, word.
At that time, did you think it was too high, or kind of you like started low, or
No, well, for me, it was like, I thought
did
it
you
was.
shop
I thought
around
it
to
was
see what
high.
everybody else should know?
No, I was just like, well, I'm gonna charge this much per hour, and I think I'll only need this much. And I just didn't,
Right.
starting out, you don't think people are gonna
No.
pay for that. And so, then after that, so I had the one, and then you start thinking like, oh man, imagine if I had like one per month. Wow, that'd be crazy. And then you're like, man, imagine if I had one or two every like 2 per month. And then what if I had one every weekend? And so, over the years and everything, it grew and grew and grew, and here we are now.
Nice. So okay, so when you start like your practices and stuff, like, how do you go about having practice? Do you do it once a week? Do you have this for anybody that's looking at you and thinking about hiring right now?
We usually do
Like,
one
let's
per
say
week.
I'm sorry. Let's say I'm a client, and how do you not how much you charge? That's none of my business. But if you guys are wanting to book and wanting to put a number, you can call her. But like, how do you do practices? Where do you well, obviously here, right? But do you do like at home practices as well?
Well, so we can do home practices, we just charge because then it's taking time out from here, because
Right.
we have to travel out, and then in the time that they leave from whatever house they're at to come to the studio, it interferes with rehearsal time here at the studio. So we we just charge a little bit extra, not anything crazy, but we do
Right.
charge extra. And then, but, most of the time with people with like 8 couples and under, it's usually 6 rehearsals to get your waltz and surprise dance done. But each rehearsal is 2 hours. We do 2 hours. I think anything less than 2 hours for a rehearsal isn't.
Can't cover enough.
You can't cover enough.
People
because
are late,
A,
and then plus they're kids. They're gonna
Preach.
horseplay a little bit,
Yeah.
And I mean, I join mine, like it's fun, it's our game, but I know when to, hey guys, we need to stop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of thing.
the mom look. You know, that,
Right.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think 2 hours is solid. You get just enough done where you can still give them breaks, but
Right.
it works out. Sonia.
So do you do like practice once a week? Can you do practice twice a
Marissa.
week or all week or?
For each group, it's about once a week. I think
Once
in
a
that final one, it feels like about twice because it's like the weekend and then you have another one
Right.
that week. So
At the
it'll
hall.
feel like twice. Yeah, if they
Yeah.
allow it, because every hall's different, right? So
Yeah. So do you do like, so if they don't have like the hall the day before, do you guys usually go in the morning? Because there's sometimes where I have to
No,
go
ain't
in
no
the
way.
morning, no?
No,
Or
ain't
like
no
an
way.
hour before everybody starts getting there?
I feel like we would be setting everybody up for failure if we tried to do a practice there in the morning
Yeah.
of, because they're busy with hair and makeup. Mom's going crazy with last minute details. Ain't no way.
So do you have them show up like maybe like an hour before everybody gets there and start getting replaced? Cause let's just say it's a studio that you've never been to. You gotta really know how much space you got, where the table is gonna be at.
I usually, now I've gotten into the habit of asking them like, okay, well, do you already know your dance floor dimensions? All right, we'll take this much off of it because you're still got to think about your photographers and your videographers and give them that space.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it's just, we usually, we're there between like 6, latest 6:30, and then we get there, make sure that the kids are good, because sometimes there's no time
Right.
to rehearse with them, unfortunately. I mean, we prefer to be able to take them outside real quick and review it, but sometimes, sometimes we can, and we're like, hey, I'm
Everything
here.
happens so quick,
Yeah.
you got a time limit, Say
Yeah.
6 o'clock we do this, 7 o'clock we do that, and 8 we do, yeah.
Yeah, so, but to go back to your original question, no, we don't do anything the day of, like as far as like getting there an hour before they open the doors, because we're still in rehearsals, so.
Some people
Because
do the
we're still here
limos.
at the studio like 3:30, and then we gotta go home, shower, get dressed, everything, and then,
But a lot
How
of the
bad?
times too, like the kids, like they're proactive. So we'll get there and it's like, Miss, like we went through it, like we had the time, like we got it.
Yeah.
So-
No, because we encourage them too. Like in the final
Yeah.
rehearsal, we're like, "Girl, you in danger. You need to practice as soon as you get there. You need to practice,
So, yeah.
especially if they don't show up with their dress in the final rehearsal. Please, if you're that's the camera, right?
Look at
please,
just look at the middle.
please bring your dress and your hoop and everything you're going to be dancing into the final rehearsal. You are asking for disaster if you don't practice with it in the final rehearsal. PSA. Enjoy.
So, so what about as far as like, because sometimes like they have like the strap come this way, the strap will break. You ever had that happen?
Yeah, we've had plenty
Yeah.
of straps.
Yeah,
The
one
straps
had
on the
their
dress.
No,
Yeah, because they're so tight for
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
or they're like here, and so like we'll have the choreo where they're here, and they're like,
Yeah.
Doing
Just,
this.
I would just have them like minimize it or just do
Uh,
the best you can, go with the flow
yeah.
kind of
Or
thing.
or we
Sometimes
like
they'll
keep
be
it in
like,
front.
I got it.
Yeah. So have you guys ever had a quinceañera tour? It's like the whole time at practice you doubted them, but the day of ate it. No crumbs.
Never doubt.
Really? I'm not gonna lie, I've had one.
It's always funny because it's like for some groups, like we always go into it knowing that not everybody's a dancer. Like that's why
Right.
they hired us to break down steps, go through. And half of the time, like even the parents will be like, "Oh, I was worried there," and then they perform, and it's like, "Where was that this whole time in
Right.
practice?" So I think it just goes back to like age. Like at the end of the day, like they are kids, so like even the ones that may take a little bit more time, or like you may be like the diamond in the rough. Like at the end of the day, like once they work with us, they ask questions, we help. Like we never send out our groups worried.
Yeah.
Like we're always there, like
I
day
never
of,
told you, but
like,
I thought in my head with
prepared.
that girl, I was like, dang, like, you know, well, she was into it. She was into it, but it's like she kept forgetting. But I guess with all the adrenaline rush,
Yeah.
the day of, she freaking ate it up.
Yeah.
She did awesome. So I was like, okay.
You definitely, yeah. Every now and then you'll get one. It's like, but
Yeah.
I worry most for my groups when like they've missed like over half their rehearsals.
Really?
Yeah, and then they're like, "Well, I don't know it," and I'm like, "Well, no joke, you haven't been here. That's why you don't know it." So,
So
I'm like,
do you always tell them that also? Because I tell my clients too, like, the results are up to you.
No, definitely. Well, I know I usually, if they get a little rowdy or they're just like knocking off, I give them the reminder of like, hey, like this is a paid service and you're not coming here for funsies. We're not here just for funsies. Somebody paid for this, that somebody being her mom. You guys
Yeah.
not taking it seriously is a slap in the face and you're
Yeah.
disrespecting her right now. And then they're like, "Oop."
Yeah, exactly. You got to
So,
kind of do that. Yeah.
yeah.
Like, so,
and
okay.
the moms are like, so,
Yeah.
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 I always let them know too. I was like, out of love for me, like I want y'all to look good. I was like, you should want to look good. I was like, you're representing, like your friend went out of her way to select y'all. Like,
Exactly.
like,
Yeah. So can you guys share a pivotal moment that solidified your decision to pursue dance as a career?
Go, girl.
it's honestly just seeing the whole process. Like I've had so many of my quinceañera girls that have come in like super shy, and like by the end of it, like their parents are just like, "Oh my gosh, Sierra, like what did you do?" Like out of their shell. Like a lot of times too, after the event, they'll find me like on my
Yeah.
Insta, and like I can see them like from the first group when I first started. All of my girls are seniors, and from most of those girls, they're dance captains. They're dancing like and you just see them like from like grow up, and then
Right.
half the time too you see them at other quinces as well. But just to still have like that connection and bond, like you can't make that. Like you can make that genuine through conversation, but to have that through another language as like dance, like it just makes all the difference.
So you've actually like inspired them to dance and
Yeah.
stuff. That's good. That's awesome. I think to me that's a good feeling, and especially with them being so young, like let's say 13, being a quinceañeras, and then watching them grow. Do you ever feel like they're like your own personal kids too?
Yeah, I see them like for me, like I'm going into like education like as my major, so it's very much just like getting that experience in a different perspective. I don't think I ever see them as like I see them always like little sister, because like that's how I picture them. Like I want to see them do good. I want to see them
Right.
succeed. I want to be like their biggest supporter,
Right.
and just knowing that I'm there to, of course, teach them, go through like the dances, but when it comes down to it too, like the girls will come out of their way to just be like, thank you so much just for like being there.
That's awesome.
Outside of dance too. So I don't know. I love the connections I make. I'm a people person, so like I just thrive off of that connection that you make with the families, with the grandmas,
But
with
what,
Yes.
what was the
everybody.
actual pivotal moment before? Because like, I mean, obviously, you didn't have that. And so like, what was the moment that you're like, oh yeah, I for sure want to do something in dance? You know what I mean? That, I was like, I think that was more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think those experiences helped you like, yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Which I totally.
Like
vibe
with me to inspire somebody young, it's like, I'm gonna put my nephew as an example. He was going down the wrong road, just hanging out with the wrong people, smoking
Sorry.
weed and stuff. I'm gonna put out. I'm gonna tell him, smoking weed, and then it wasn't until he started dancing with me he stopped all that. You know what I mean? So but especially with it being my nephew. So I don't know. I'm not gonna say like somebody else's kid, did this, but this was my nephew. So and then he dances with me also, and then my cousin. So when I came back from Hawaii in 2020. They're like, hey, teach us how to dance. Because when I was doing it before I moved to Hawaii, I would see my nephew in videos. He's there just watching. So now that I come back and him and my cousin, they're like, hey, teach us how to dance. I'm like, okay. So I rented a studio with them, and then they're like, so I started getting booked for quinceañeras, and then they were my two top dancers.
Where was your first quinceañera at?
When I was, so the first one?
In San Antonio.
Okay, so I started, and this is also in my podcast that I did. So the first one I stood in, I was 13. It was my cousin's quinceañera.
Well, that was what you choreographed?
No.
Oh, so
That was
what
the first one I stood in. The
what was
first
your
one-
paid like where you had to like, you're like, come on, babies, you can do it.
I'd have to say it was. So it was so long ago. This her name was Larissa Leos, and she already has, I think, 2 kids of her own.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So so that's what I meant by watching them grow up, because she still follows me on social media. So with that one was actually in Seguin. I had somebody also help me as well.
Okay.
So I don't know how long ago it was.
My first.
I think I want to say like 2008.
Oh, nice.
Damn, we're old now.
No. Like you were like then a teenager, no?
Yeah, I think it was 2008, because that's when I realized
Wait.
that I wanted to do this. Because like I said, like
21.
probably
21?
it's all on my podcast if you guys want to watch it. This
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
about me. This is about La Jolla. Okay, my journey is on my podcast. If you guys want to watch it, check out my journey, where I've been, where I'm at now.
I remember my first one. I looked it up, and because I was just like, I was like, when was the exact date? It was in October of 2013. That was my first official paid event with La Jolla Choreography. It was at the VFW at Roosevelt by the Mission Drive-In on the South Side,
Yeah.
where Giselle had hers.
Yeah.
That was the very
Really?
first one. Mhm. Yep. Shout out to the VFW.
Oh.
I did Giselle's quince. What year was that? Just Galilee. 2022. Man, this
So
year-
did
this
you do
feels like
everybody's
longer.
event? You did his.
He stood
Yours
in a
is
quince, she
sister.
stood in a quince.
You were the
and then
chauffeur.
she
I'm
was-
just
yeah.
kidding. No. Right, oh, the sideline. Hey, that's good. That's good. That's good that you support him. I love it. So my parents didn't support me. Nobody supported me. So but now they do. Now they do. No, now they do. Because like growing up, my dad was like, "Oh, that's for girls." No. So even when I joined my first boy group, you know what I mean? We're doing quince too. They didn't want to take me, so my sister-in-law was like, "Come on, I'll take you." I was like, "Let's go," So, but it was dope. So yeah, so that's good that you support him. That's awesome. I give you that. Awesome.
Thank you.
Even though I
You
have
should
my
see
own
that. You
car.
should.
Yeah, cool. It saves gas.
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
really, it's
environment.
actually, we kind of chuckle a little bit because like they're brother and sister, they do bicker and they. And so
I try not
think
to.
the other day I was like, "Quit fighting, mom and dad."
So how long have you been with Loya?
So it wasn't very long after Joel. He's about 4 years. I'm about like three and a half years.
So you were kind of been correcting him, and then she noticed that you knew how to move, and so she kind of, come on.
It was.
Well, how she kind of like slowly went in because he like
To be
he
fair,
he
yeah.
kind of like, but not even so much about. He just kind of like. Did it without like officially like saying anything to me. He's like, yeah, Marissa's bringing me to practice, and oh yeah, just partner up with this guy. And then I was like, we need dancers. So I was like, it was kind of like our first show coming back out of like COVID stuff, and
Yeah.
so
The first and like one of the only expos.
How was it coming back from COVID when getting all these events and then all of a sudden COVID hit and then it's because I know a lot of people they struggled.
Yeah, it was me. It was me, you, Melanie, and Isaiah. Yeah, it was me, you, Melanie, and Isaiah at Liz's events next door. Yeah, we and my daughter's been doing expo shows for years. Like, that's been kind of cool. Yeah,
With her cute little bow, she's on the front door.
No, yeah, she's been doing them since she was like 4. So she's like come out, and so I'm super. Her Quince will be in like 2 years, so that'll be like.
Have you ever gotten those ones where her quinceañera in 6 years, you're gonna do hers too, and you're like, I don't know where I'm gonna be, right? But now you got your own stuff, so you'll be here in 6 years, right?
Yes, I'm hoping. That's the plan.
Gotcha. And then you just sit back and have them take over, yeah. We're
Well,
still 21 though. We're still 21, so we still got some youth in
Well,
us.
no, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know for Melanie's, for my daughter, I know it's been like, oh, mommy, I want this, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And then I
Well,
was
who
like,
knows what's gonna be trending by the time your daughter turns 15,
Well,
right?
I already have my idea.
Who knows? Maybe they're gonna be coming in helicopters, and you may never know, man.
No, it's exciting. It's gonna be fun. Like I want to make have cameos from some of our old dancers. And
That
have
would
them
be
come
dope.
in and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. We'll see.
Okay, so we're gonna go to some of the questions that I see all the time on the Quinceañera planning page. So, what would be a good starting point to start practices when hired?
What's a good date to start practicing?
Yeah, say you do 10 weeks out, few weeks out.
We do about 6 weeks out.
6
Well,
weeks.
because it's one per week, right? So depending on how many people you have. Like if you have buttload of people, so when people have like 10 couples or more, that's 7. That's
Well,
7.
traditionally it's 7 boys, 7 girls, right?
No, I've had people tell me that traditionally it's like 14 couples and you have like 30.
Yes, 7 boys, 7 girls.
No.
14 couples. No,
No, that's 14
my math is
people.
wrong. Sorry, I failed my. It's my bad, you guys.
No.
What's 7 boys, 7 girls, 14 couples? No, because the traditionally every couple represents a year of their life, and then they
Couple. That's 2 people.
no,
A couple is 2 people.
is
So
it?
you said 14 couples, which is 28. 4
Okay.
times 2 is
We've
28.
done one with
Maybe.
32.
Plus 2 more for
Something,
15
yeah.
is 30.
Well, including her and then.
I mean, they were a good group, to be
Yeah.
fair, but it was rough.
Wait, what?
32 kids
Oh,
stuffed
that
in
was
one
the
room.
16, yeah, for the Sweet 16 one, yeah.
I could be wrong.
And she was at a small hall. She was at Las Fuentes, which is all narrow.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh, which one was that?
I've had a few.
No, I've had a few that, well.
They did
Las
really
Fuentes
well
with the
though.
big
They came
court.
to every.
How many
single
did they
rehearsal.
have?
There,
remember how
it was
many
like
was in my
32.
course.
Yeah.
It was
32
a
people. I think the
bunch of
biggest court that
kids.
I've ever worked with was 38 people.
oh.
How much?
38.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that like?
No, what was hard about it was because not everybody shows up. With that big
Right.
of a court, it's hard to get everybody's schedules.
So starting practice, it all depends on how many people are in it, how many people are gonna catch on quick, and how many people are gonna.
So there's several factors, right? So 1, how big your court is. 2, are you coming up with the choreo or do you actually have a choreographer? Because if you have a choreographer, that person's gonna be, that already have it set, right?
Right.
They have their method of teaching, this is what we're learning, this is what, in the time that we're gonna learn it, boom, boom, boom. As long as you show up to class, we're good to go. But if you're the one doing it and you don't have experience coming up with choreography, then of course it's gonna be, oh, well, maybe we should do this. And then you're gonna have people sitting there like, are we even gonna do anything? And so I've seen people try and do it. I remember I had a mom call me in a panic. She's like, please, can you just come up with something? Like we started months ago and I feel like we haven't gotten anywhere. And I was just like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? I wrote down all my notes, showed up to her practice, and within a 3-hour rehearsal, we got a waltz done and like a little bit of her surprise dance. And she was like, oh my gosh, we've been practicing for months and you did all of that within just a few couple of hours. And I was like, well, when it's new material, they're gonna be like more, more focused on what they're trying to do. But once it's like, oh, we've already learned it, that's when they kind of drift a little bit. But for the most part, I think, like I said, it just depends on the court that you have, if they're actually invested in it, and who's choreographing it. Because if you have somebody well, I should say that with choreographers, sometimes they don't have as much experience, and so if they don't have as much experience, then you're going to need more rehearsals, right?
Right.
So if you're kind of already seasoned and you have your method of how you teach, you're going to know how long it's going to take you to teach a certain routine.
So when you said like 6 practices, is there any times where you get it done faster than usual, or there's some you gotta
Oh, yeah.
add some more?
Oh, for sure. For sure. The ones that we get done faster, we're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Fitting pretty. But, and then that's when we can like make it, yeah.
If we can, like, hey, you wanna pick up a fit song? Like,
Yeah.
when they're able to like do really well and we can like do more with them, it's like, well, let's just start seeing what we can do.
But can you do this?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just like once you like if you're picking up really well, it's like let's make it look a little better. Let's try to do more with you. Let's try to see how we can like make it just look that much better.
Yeah. Clean it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then-
Shout out to my husband and my daughter again. So it's to say, thanks for the shout out. Your daughter is here supporting you.
Yay, daughter.
Melanie, and then it says you are the #1 mom and choreographer.
Okay. So, she's awesome. So this is for those of you guys thinking and watching, because I did post this on the My San Antonio Quince page, or
Okay.
the Quinceañera planning. So so I wanted to just also let them know that there's more than just asking what do you charge, right? How much you charge, right? You got to ask it because there's sometimes where I ask, what are the dates? How many people are in it? You know what I mean? So if it's like, I got to set aside 10 practices and I give them a price for 10 practices, but I tell them I can get it done. There's some where I get it done 6, 7, 8 practices. The results are up to them. And the other 4 practices are terminated, right? What would you kind of tell, like, would you kind of say the same thing? Like, the results are up to them, because let's just say there's sometimes where I've gone through all 10 practices. There's some where I got it done in 5 or 6. So, and then the rest of them were terminated.
Well, so like the lowest that you can go maybe is like 400 to 500, but that's because you're only doing a waltz or you're like keeping it super minimal, things like that. But it can start from there and go up. Most people are in the like 9 to 1100 range, most. And I mean, I tell people you get what you pay for, right? So when they're like, well, can you lower it, or is there any, I'm like, well, so look, I can do this for you, but I'm not going to be able to lower like the actual package of choreography.
Right.
Only because I'm like, this is the rehearsals you're going to need minimally. Now, if it's that you're doing, for instance, I always ask people, like, are you going to change? Are you going to stay in the dress for your waltz and surprise dance? Are we doing a combined one? And if we're doing that, then okay, you don't need as much lessons because we're
Right.
going to condense it, all of that. But I mean, it all depends on everything that you're doing. So
Right.
you can pay as little as you want as far as like going down to only doing a waltz, but most people want to do waltz and surprise dance, and I want to do this and I want to do that. And now that the new trend of like having dancers and the chambelanes and like all the props and everything,
Yes,
the
that's
production
going.
stuff, that adds to the price tag
Right.
too. So yeah.
Awesome. So what about, okay, so we see you guys performing at an expo and stuff, and I was like, dang, they're good. I want them to be my dancers. But what if I'm not up to par with you guys? I can't get it. It's just like,
Well, that's our job
Dang.
to make you look good.
right.
Point blank, period. Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay,
that's
okay.
what the dancers are there for. Like
Make
we're-
adjustments,
It's not.
there you go,
It's
okay.
not.
Make
It's
the
not.
dancers do more.
Yeah.
Like it's like and sparkle and sparkle. So it's more if you're our client and you're like, I'm not a dancer, I'm super shy. One, during the rehearsals, it's our job to like hype you up and make you feel better, build your confidence.
Shit, as it
One,
should.
right, and then two, it's not our show, it's about you, right? And so
Right.
it's our job to make you look good.
So have you ever had anybody that has no dance experience
Oh, yeah,
at
all
all?
the time.
All the time.
How do you
All the
guys
time.
go?
Like honestly, it's like refreshing whenever we have girls that actually like are trying and they are putting in that 100% effort. Because we're like, thank you so much, and then the moms are like, aren't all quinceañeras? And we're like, no, they're not.
No.
So it's sometimes it takes a little bit of an edge and an extra push and a shove and a kick.
Yes.
To get them out of their shell. But it's really nice at the end, as Sierra
Yeah.
said, to see the growth and the progress.
As long
of
as
their
they get out
confidence.
there, right, and have fun. My thing, I tell them,
Smile.
you don't need to be looking perfect. You don't need to be looking like us. Don't look like me. But I want you guys to have fun with
That's
it.
my favorite
you
thing
know?
to say. Like I always be like, and what's the most important thing? And they're like, make sure at the end like we kneel or this. And I'm like, no, smile, have fun. Like,
have fun with
and they're
it.
like,
That was wrong.
Okay.
Wrong.
Okay. Another thing of their fear is, oh my God, what if I mess up?
Mess up, you mess
Keep
up.
going, right?
well, one thing.
All of us have literally messed up. in a
Right.
performance.
Yeah.
All of us.
I tell them,
I always say like,
Some more obvious than others,
Yeah.
but we've
Yeah.
all, we've
But,
all
like,
messed up.
I always tell them like reassurance always is key. And then like I was like, girl, who else knows this dance besides you and me?
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I'm like, they're here for you. Like you mess
Yeah.
up, pop, lock, and drop it.
There you
Go
go.
back into the routine.
Baby Danny wants to say something.
Oh yeah, no.
I don't know how many pictures there are of like my face like.
Really? Okay, that's another thing I tell them. Don't make it noticeable. You know, that's your face, right?
No,
Yeah.
Dan, my favorite thing whenever I see footage of Danny and he's there and he's going and he's like, and his smile gets bigger and I'm looking and they're looking at me.
If I'm smiling too hard, it's because.
You messed up, right? But at least you're smiling
When
though.
it's an open mouth smile, that's when you know he's messed up. And then they're funny because I'll be on the other side and I'm like recording and then they're looking at me like, Joel just saw
She's
me.
gonna eat me out tomorrow.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah?
They do.
I like your answer is that nobody knows the choreography but you guys.
Exactly.
You know, and just keep going, right? I mean, if you fall, you fall. Just get up and we'll fall with you. You know what I mean, or something. You know?
that.
The thing is that everybody messes up.
Yeah.
There's times where I'm performing out in San Antonio or whatever, and I mess up. You know what? Things got to keep going. You know what I mean? So, and it's my choreography.
That's my
Like,
favorite thing to say for like father-daughter routines because I'm just like nobody else knows this routine.
Nobody,
I was just
right?
like if you mess up, nobody knows that you're supposed to go left instead of right or whatever it is. So.
I like when they
So-
mess up when they look at each other.
Oh wait, I have to ask you, what is your reaction when you're recording and either someone, a child, adult sometimes, like cross in the middle of the.
You know what? I mean, they're children, right? I mean, so I had
What
one.
about adults though?
The cameraman gets to me. So I'm
Really?
trying to
No.
record. Not recording for me, but like I'm trying to record and he sees me and I'm recording too. So I try to get under them or kind of with them, you know, and then they still go in front or they get in the way. I'm like, geez, bro, I told you like we're trying to record together. You know what I mean? But like as far as like
me
so
get my
let me just say that, you know, when the cameraman or photographer that they hire gets in my way. You know, and it's the same for you guys or what?
No.
No, I mean, I mean, mine's, it's a little like, I think when I first started out, I was a little bit more like, bruh, like,
Right.
I felt like that, but I think, getting to know, like, the photographers and videographers, like, I was like, my bad, you're right. I was
Yeah.
just like, let me
Some of-
move over here. And
Some
then,
of them
you know.
someone would tell me that, like, oh, I'll send you the video. I'm like, no, because I film me.
No,
because
you're
I know
not.
the choreo.
No, you're
you know?
not.
No, I don't say it in a bad way. I say, okay,
You're a liar.
I don't want your video. You know, I want my video because I know the choreo and I know, you know, because I zoom in sometimes.
I know which shot.
I know, yeah.
I know to go away from that side because they're gonna mess up.
But with me, I don't. I try to.
practice.
I try to get everybody. I don't go from like just the right side, left side. You know, I try to get everybody, and I just stay still. You know, and there's sometimes where you know I notice that they'll mess up, and if you watch my videos too, okay, yeah, they messed up, but. At the end of the day, it's all about having fun, making memories for the client, and that's all it is. So coming off on the Quinceañera page and a lot of questions that people ask, on the top of your head, what is one that you want to really address? Like on the top of your head, well, a question that everybody always asks. Like when you get a call, what is the top question everybody asks?
When I get a call, the top question is that enough rehearsals? Because I tell them it's 6 or 7, depending on the group, right, number. I say it's only enough practices if they show up, they want to learn, and they're actually going to try.
Right.
If not, there's no point. Because I always give the analogy of school. You're not going to go to school after you've missed 1 or 2 classes, go back and be like, hey, I wasn't here. Can you reteach the lesson? That's not going to happen.
You got to backtrack.
Yeah. You're
Yes.
going to have to go in for tutoring, go on your own time, make it till you make it, all those
Yeah.
things.
It's
And
like
then you can be in class every day and just be like a bump on the log and not try and still fail the class because you're not putting in any effort.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So a lot of times I tell them like, say, I'm sorry, names again?
Sierra.
Okay, let's say Sierra's always missing and Danny's always here, right? It's not fair that the day she comes, we have to backtrack. You know, it's not fair to Danny. He's been here since day one, on time, you know, and so we got to backtrack for Sierra and whoever misses out kind of thing. Sorry, I don't mean to put you out there. but that's the one thing that they have to look at as well, you know. So and it's like the more we backtrack, the more we're going to have to add practices and it's going to be more money off of you. So I would always say like for the parents to get with or for the parents to get with the kids, participants' parents. You know, make sure they're going to be coming to practice. And I tell them, look, you're going to miss one practice, that's cool. I know a lot of people have things going on, you know. So if you miss, hey, get with him and practice during the week. You know what I mean? I tell them too, get together during the week because a lot of the times when I come into practice, next week I'm going to forget what I, did. And they're more than welcome to record. So I'm going to forget what we did. I'm going to have to look at the video and stuff. So I always tell them to make sure you practice on your own. And a lot of the times they won't practice until just the time I come in. So.
Oh, yeah. Story of our lives.
Yeah. So and then that's why I come up to the results are up to you guys. I always tell them, you guys are 75% of it. I'm only 10%. Or
25.
Yeah, see, I failed science. Okay. Exactly. So I tell them, you guys are 75% of the work, and I'm 15%. Okay, it's all up to them. That's what I tell my clients, and I think.
Sorry, I'm still going by the math. I'm like, where's the other 10%?
The 10%, the other percent is the parents.
Okay.
You gotta be finished. You come No, but yeah, that's actually what I tell them. That's actually what I tell them. And if anybody's watching and thinking about hiring a choreographer,
What do you do for your families that have people from out of town?
Okay, so a lot of times it's happened. A lot of times they come 3 days before, and honestly, they've been the best ones.
You think?
Yes, they've been
That's
the
only
best
happened
ones.
to me once.
Really?
Only
They've been the
once.
best ones because they they see the choreo, and I've never met. I go to the day of the Quince, and I'm like, who are you? They're like, oh, I'm from out of town. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. I forget that they're coming out of town, and I'm watching the video, and those are the ones I really want to see. And I'm watching the video, I'm like, they freaking ate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's only happened to me one time. It was years ago. I remember he came in from Las Vegas. I think that's where he was from. And he came in the week. No, but yeah, I remember he a couple of days before boot camped it out, and he learned everything, and he was really good. I was like, no, you're gonna have to start in the back. He's like, if I do well, will you put me in the front? I was like, yeah, as long as if you get up the choreo, that's fine. You'll go back to the front. He's like, Miss Bet. And so,
No, that's cool. That's good. He
But
thinks that.
he was like the 5-10% because everybody else.
It does happen a lot, and it does happen a lot. People are out of town, but I mean, I got mine where they couldn't get it, so they decided not to. They'll just do the waltz, I think there was another one. I did actually a Filipino party. Filipino,
you telling me
they
about
have 18. So it was just the 3 girls that did it with her. So it was kind of off. I always tell them, let's keep it balanced. 2 girls on one side, 2 girls on another. But she couldn't get it, and so she kind of stepped out. But I mean, hey, it happens, What is one thing that, everybody's fear? For example, I had a quinceañera where the quinceañera was this weekend, and the hall accidentally double booked them.
Oh, we've had that happen.
Yeah.
We just had that.
I mean, it's not our part, but
We've had double bookings of halls. We've had
Forgot the
people-
dress at home?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Forgot the whole
Okay.
dress at home.
Okay,
Me and Sierra have both had to take off our own bras to give it to the quinceañera.
really. And I've been doing wow. Because I told myself, there's nothing that I've never been through. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about wait a minute. I don't know.
You've never been
I'm talking
through
about a choreographer. I've never had to give him my bra to
You gotta do what you gotta do.
No.
Or
But-
the voice forgets their whole surprise dance outfit and they have to borrow.
I thought we were supposed to wear black.
No, one of my girls Melina and Mercy, right?
Yeah.
They forgot their whole surprise dance outfit. So luckily, it was close enough to where I could come to the studio, and I got some of our random jackets that we had, and then mom went to Walmart real quick to go buy some surprise dance.
That's, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we had a girl that forgot her. Mine was I remember it was at Moonlight. I remember I showed up, and
That's
I
a
was
nice
just like,
haul.
I was like, "Where's Isaac?" I showed up, and then I was like, "Where's the Quince?" They're like, "She's she was walking," and then I saw her walking around in just a robe, and I was like,
That was my
I was
first
like, "Honey," I was
Quince.
like, "What are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, I was just like, let's go change." She's like, "Oh," and we went, and she's like, "Wait, where's my dress?" And I was like, "Yeah, where's your dress?" And then she's like, "Hold on, let me ask my mom." And she goes, and then they're like, "You didn't bring it?" "No." "Did your brother bring it?"
Wow.
And then so they sent brother to go pick it up.
That was my
from-
introduction to
Brother coming in clutch.
an event, was that. And I was
Oh,
like,
that's
is it
right,
always like
that's
this?
right, That's right. I remember.
I've never had that happen, but I mean, even though if it did, it doesn't fall on me. So,
Problem.
so okay. So what about as far as like when you do the choreography for her and her friend?
We like when sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I'll throw our boys.
Oh,
But
nice.
sometimes our boys will be like,
yeah,
"Hey, I didn't bring my cowboy hat." And we're all like, "What?"
Oh,
And so we have
man.
to go ask like one of the Theos, like, "Hey, like, sorry."
Can we borrow your hat? All of them are tan and his is black.
The best, do you remember when, was it Danny in Danny's trunk? He had a suit jacket, and then they took off the Diego strip. He had to go back and get it, and then you had to turn around and go get it.
Gosh.
When I was out of
So
town.
we
Did
were-
y'all have the
so-
time to do all that? I hope so, right? Okay.
Yeah,
but-
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Two of us
yeah,
had
yeah,
to go
yeah.
to that event, so.
Well, so like what had happened was Danny had the extra coat jacket that we were going to use for one of our other boys that was standing in that quince, and so they left in a different vehicle, and then I was like, "Hey, you have all the jackets, right?" And then they were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah," and then they're like, "Wait, Diego." And then you hear it like muffled, right? And you don't hear it. And I'm like, "I can hear you."
Sorry, losing connection.
And I was like, "I know you're lying. I know you're lying." I was so mad.
If you would have called them, they would have driven all the way over.
No, and I remember.
So how far was the event?
It wasn't.
It
It
was
wasn't too
far.
far, but I remember.
It
But
wasn't
only
too far,
because
it was far.
we were, it was like closer to, if it would have been from theirs, it would have been like an
Okay,
hour
okay,
away.
okay.
But luckily
But
for
I
us, it was like
I remember
30.
one time, like, we were trying to be like, "Yeah, Jewel, like everything's fine," and then we're like on the road, and Jewel's like.
That was the same day.
Yeah, she was behind us, like.
And they
She was like, "I see y'all," and we were like,
I'm right
No,
behind
they,
you.
they were like, yeah, we're already like by here. And my husband was the one driving. He's just like, in
them.
Spanish, he's like, ahí están esos vatos. I los veo. And I looked and I was just like, we can literally see you. Why are you lying? I was like, I started quoting what Will Ferrell, you sit on a throne of lies. And so, and so it's all the memes that I could send.
Right. Okay.
But-
Well, at least it's a memory thing. You can laugh about it, and it's. I mean,
Once we
at
get
the end
through
of the
it.
day, things are gonna happen, right? This is what I was getting to.
Yeah.
So, for those of you guys that are watching and thinking about hiring a choreographer, things are going to happen. Nothing is going to end up perfect, right? As far as forgetting things, I've never done that, but it'll probably come to me. So hopefully it doesn't. But it's. I'm sure everything went good, and it's something you can talk about it and laugh about it. It's a memory thing, right? Awesome.
That
So,
was actually a pretty good event, now that I remember.
Yeah.
Like, after all that happened.
Oh, yeah.
We made it to
Because
the
I was at the
event on
rancho,
time.
yeah. It was at a rancho. That one was cool.
So what would you say? Okay, so you're doing a quinceañera with I'm not gonna say your dancers, but you're doing a quinceañera with her and her friends. Okay, their biggest fear is people dropping like flies. Okay, so what kind of information would you think? My biggest fear is, man, I'm worried about this person, that person, this the girls, guys, whatever. What would you kind of tell me to kind of like cheer me up a little bit?
Make better friends.
Hi, Russ.
He's like,
Wait,
seriously.
we didn't hit on the microphone. Say it in the mic. Right.
The evil laugh. No. So when that does happen, because that happens all the time,
Yeah.
you know that, it's either, okay, do you want to hire us then if we happen to have it available? Two, we say like, cool girl, don't even worry about them. They didn't dance good anyway. like they didn't know the
always-
routine
yeah, that's
anyway,
always
right?
it, yeah.
But and I hate it when it happens, like if somebody happens to like get hurt, and I'm like, and it's like the one that knows the choreography the best, and I'm like, no,
Yeah.
why?
Or if
Yeah.
Sierra shows up in a boot.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Sprained ankle.
Torn ACL.
Yeah. You had, yeah. The
So what did y'all do? I mean,
she still did it.
She still did it.
She did it. Okay,
pulled
that's
through.
what's up.
No, I had a girl that broke her leg. It's from Somerset. Oh my gosh! I just remember she broke her leg.
It wasn't during practice, was it?
No.
Okay,
She was
okay,
because
okay.
of, cheer. She was
Okay.
in cheer.
It was
and
it for practice, wasn't it?
She broke her leg, and no, that girl, she
She
got
still
through
ate it. That's what's up. That's
And
what's
she
up.
did her well too.
Shout out to you, girl. I give you props for that one.
Yeah.
Props, yeah.
Which one is that one?
It was that whole. I don't remember. I remember it's just the first time I taught the Cruel Intentions waltz. I think. The
Oh,
very
Bittersweet
first time,
Symphony. Yeah. I know
And
exactly what you're talking
She just
about.
grabbed the mic beforehand, and I was like, explain the situation, and then just.
Have fun.
That was that at the Karen Babcock, right?
Yes.
The St. George Maronite.
Yes,
I remember. Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. So what about what's today? Today's Tuesday? Look, my days are off too. Today's Tuesday. Okay. Let's just say today's Tuesday, the quinceañera is this weekend, okay? Somebody decides to drop out.
Sorry, guys.
Have you guys ever had that? What would you guys recommend? What kind of information you would
Hold on.
I've seen it sometimes where that happens and they whip out a cousin, a brother. There's sometimes where it's like, hey, Sierra, guess what? Suit up. Like, they have a dress. Like, oh, okay.
Sierra, put a ball
Awesome.
cap on.
Yeah, like, no. But a lot of times it's okay, like just it's seeing what we can do. Sometimes it's like the girl or saying, the times I've seen it's usually like the guy drops out for
Right.
the most part. And the girl, the damas is like, I'll do it by myself. It's like, oh, okay. So for the most part, like parents do try to problem solve. If not, then they usually one of us will hop in. Like
Gotcha.
they'll hire one of us for the most part. So
Gotcha.
far, we haven't had one of those situations in a minute, but sometimes it's where they're okay with sitting out of it, and then sometimes you just have somebody who will step up.
Would you say like sometimes it's like, okay, you do have 7 boys, 7 girls, and all of a sudden they start dropping, and all of a sudden you're just like 5 girls and 2 boys.
We've never had this.
No, that's happened. Well, remember when we plugged in some of our boys, and then we did it to where it was like 1 boy per 2 girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that happens a lot. Like I'm just like, it's cool, backup plan, we'll figure it out. The only thing is that I, of course, talking to the parents, letting them know, like, hey,
I think because
sorry guys, I'm blowing up.
I think since Jules so good at doing that, I don't even realize that was the
Yeah.
situation that happened. Like it was just kind of one of those things where
That-
it's like, my boy, our chambelanes are dancing with 2 damas. Like I took into consideration like that's not the situation that actually happened in the first part.
Yeah.
I think I've had one where
Solving skills are unmatched.
where I think a few days before, somebody.
When you had to dress up.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
What happened?
So shout out to Levi Raven. He's Mr. Gay Texas America. Joelle last minute couldn't participate in the event. And so I had to, he hired 4 of our boy dancers. So it was everybody that was 18 and up, because they couldn't get into the club if they weren't 18. Anyhow, so for his pageant for Mr. Gay San Antonio, I actually did it for Mr. Gay Texas too. Man, I took it all the way. So Mr. Gay San Antonio, it was at, which club was it?
Wasn't Sarah?
No.
No.
I thought it was like,
No. Oh, no.
No. Which club was it?
wasn't there?
Was it the Heat? It was the Heat. It was at the Heat. He hired 4 dancers, and so it was a cowboy look. And so literally less than an hour that we had to be there, I get a call that he's not going to be able to do it, and I was like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" This guy.
Okay.
And this right here, yeah. I'm like, I'll relive my anger, right? But like, I was just like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? And then I think it was Danny. He was just like, well, Jewel, maybe you should just suit up.
Yeah, I was like.
Yeah.
No,
Where's the mic? He said, "Where's my mic?"
Take it away from Jewel. Take it away from Jewel. No, yeah, I was like, the only other person who knows the choreo and can perform is Jewel. I was like, grab a cowboy hat.
So what was your outfit? Did you do the mustache thing and everything?
No,
or
I didn't.
no?
I just like pulled my hair back into a low bun, put on the black jeans and the Ariat black cowboy. It was the vaquero one, and so I did that, and I just
There you go.
rocked it out, and we did it. So we won for Levi, Mr. Gay San Antonio. So
Awesome.
he got the title for Mr. Gay San Antonio. Went to Houston, we did, and he got the title for Mr. Gay Texas.
Awesome.
And
Congrats,
then,
congrats, bro.
right?
Congrats.
Yeah, so he'll be passing the crown on soon. I think he wants us to do another show with him.
Nice.
So we'll see what we
Yeah,
can
I
do.
want to
But,
check. I want to check it out.
And then we went to the Mr. Gay America contest or competition. That one was in Dallas. And so me and Sierra did, we were in folklorico skirts and then the boys were in chadra outfits. And he like blinged up his whole white chadra outfit. He looked divine. It was great. It was
Nice,
fun. It was
nice.
fun experience for sure.
So there's times where you have to like kind of step up and kind of get into there, right? I mean, you are the boss, right?
Well, I mean,
Oh, for expos.
Okay.
well, so before I used to like step in and dance in expo shows, but that's just because we didn't have enough dancers. Now I'm like, I don't gotta do that anymore.
See, I'm
I
trying to
can
get. See, I'm trying to get
direct.
Yeah,
to
we
that
don't
level.
have
I
that
feel like I'm
problem.
ready to get into. Oh, it's you kids spotlight. So there's been times where I think the last time I stood at Quinceañera was probably.
Was Kendrick Lamar say? Sometimes you gotta pop up and show.
Yeah. So I'm always like, I try to stay away from it because my age, and then they are young and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, there's sometimes where I have to step in it too. So and it's always because of that. Nobody knows the choreo but you. It's like 2 days before, and because I had it was a situation where the quinceañera girl and her friend were kind of bumping heads, so she dropped out. And then so her boyfriend dropped out. So we had to find somebody for them, and I had to be her chambelán. So I was like, okay,
My husband's
cool.
had to stand in as a
Really?
chambelán. When I first
Wow.
started, well, this is before I had a group, and I remember he's had to do it twice in the whole La Jolla years.
That's part of management, you guys.
Yeah.
We got to step
No,
up.
It was funny because I was before and in the beginning he would go with me to all the events and stuff. Now he's like, it's cool, like it's fine, you're good. And anyhow, it was the first one was because the boy like twisted his ankle, like right before, and I was like, so babe. Let me go outside with you in the parking lot. I'm going to teach you the choreo.
Really? Oh, you taught him right then and there?
I taught him right then and there. And the
Dang.
same thing happened with another girl. The boy just never showed up. He showed up to any of the rehearsals, but they assured me like, no, yeah, like got it. He told me that he's reviewing, and in my head I was like, this boy ain't reviewing. You are lying right now. And then the day of the event, I was like, so where's this guy so I can make sure I can work with him for a little bit. That was back then whenever we would show up way early, and now and then so when I got there and I asked, and they were like, he said he's not coming.
What?
Yeah.
Dang.
And so then I talked to him. I was like, babe, let's go. And so I took him outside the doors, and we were there, and he learned everything. I have the
That's what's
video
up.
of him, and he's
That's
like,
good.
shake it, and
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
Shout out to husband.
Right.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your training, and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest obstacles, honestly, has been like as you grow, knowing how to manage the time and knowing how to, with growth and over time, like there's like, I'm trying to be political about this. Okay, so there's been a growth in people getting like ghosted and scammed out of money. And
Oh,
everything.
yes.
And with it becomes like, I totally get it because as a consumer, I would feel the same way, right? It's like, well, how come you're not answering me right away? Or how come I need you to like get with me on this? And, I don't want to say that customers become demanding. I think it's just more that they're more in a panic.
They do.
Because
No.
it's like, who did I give my money to? And so I understand it, but it's hard in the sense of as time has gone by, like all the different ways people, other, not cool people will, take money with no remorse about
Right,
it.
and I see
So
that always happening on the
It's-
quinceañera planners,
Yeah,
and
it's
even
rough.
even with some other companies as well that I always see. Also, I'm not gonna say any names, but
Your face.
yeah, and it's crazy though because like I mean, with clients like my biggest thing with companies is like if you're gonna be in this business, I don't think responding to a message more than 48 hours. I tell them, I'll respond to you because we do have other jobs, you know. But I always tell them, look, if I don't respond to you in 24, 48 hours, then start worrying. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I think it will. So
But I'm
like
always replying
when
within 24 hours.
yeah, when I first started, I had my full-time job, and that's actually how I kind of got into it because I used to work at St. PJ's Children's Home, and I helped start with the help of a lot of people. We did a quinceañera for all the girls there at the children's home, so it was pretty cool. Anyhow, flash forward that I'm doing, I left because I had my son. My grandmother was in bad health.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was just like, okay, well, let me just like take the time so that way I have time with my family and, you know, whatever comes with choreography, I end up getting more business school. If not, like, at least I know I had time with her.
Right.
Anyhow, so it was kind of blessing in disguise because even though I would say maybe just like very few short months later, my grandmother ended up passing away. And I think that's been one of the hardest things because I remember it perfectly. I got the call in the morning that she passed away, and I was like devastated. And that same day, I had to meet. I had a quince that night. I had to go. Like they hired me for it. Like I couldn't say like, "Hey, sorry, I'm not going," right? Because that's how you get a bad review, right? And people don't care. Like I don't want to say it as harsh as that, but you know, at the end of the day, like you're providing a service, and they're not gonna like, oh, I'm sorry your grandma died, but I paid you for my event, you need to come, you know? And
Wow.
so, I mean, point blank period, that's what it is. Like, I
Well,
don't
for
know
examples like that, because like I was doing a quinceañera when my mom died, and they told me you don't have to come. You know, I was like, no, and I was the same
I'm
mindset.
glad.
I went anyway. I said, no, you paid me, and I had the same mindset. But for them to, if I'm sorry, and cancel them if you want, but if you're gonna be you know, mean, just be like, I don't care if your mom died, you need to come. That is like beyond disgusting. I'm sorry.
Well, granted, that wasn't told to me. The only thing that I remember being told to me was whenever it was like funeral services for her. I remember reaching out to some of my clients, being like, "Hey, like I don't know when the rosary and the burial is going to be scheduled for, but I do want to let you know that if it happens to line and we can reschedule, if it, you know, we can, we'll have to reschedule, or I'll refund you partial because I'm not able
Right.
to make it." I think only one person was a little bit in that mindset of like, well, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I paid you for a service. And I felt bad, but I was like, I'm sorry, like I'm not going to miss my grandmother's funeral.
Right.
And so, but I think having the business and like growing at that time was really helpful for me because I know myself, and I know I would have fallen into a deep depression if I didn't have something to like push me forward.
Right.
And that's been one of the things that I think is the most difficult also to deal with is being a business owner, because this is all I do now.
Oh, okay.
You
Congratulations.
know, thanks. You know, I'm a mom and a wife, and you know, doing all of those things on top of like managing a whole team, and you know, dealing with clients and doing all the things. Like it's hard sometimes because you're on all
Right.
the time. So I think that's one of the things that sometimes people forget. Like I'm a human
Life.
being. So,
Yes.
you know, we all make mistakes, and sometimes time escapes me. So I'm sorry if I'm a little slow sometimes about returning messages, but, you know, I do try and know that I will get to you, and I appreciate all and your gratitude. I'm grateful, a heart full of gratitude. I love you all, but, you know, please give me grace sometimes.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
humans, you know, and life does happen, you know. And I'm not saying again, when my mom died, I had those young two quinceañeras, but I told them I'll be there, you know. So I was in the same mindset as you. It's like, I think.
Did it help push you through though?
What I was thinking about was I didn't want to stay home because I was gonna think about my mom's death. I wanted to be somewhere because that's what I do. This is
Exactly.
all an escape for me. You know what I mean? It just puts me in a better spot. Being with dancers and everything, doing what I love to do. I'm always smiling. So I went to practice, and honestly, like, I forgot my mom died, but in a good way. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? In a good way.
Yeah.
So, but that's the way I looked at it.
I understand
And that's
that.
why I was like, look, I'm still gonna go to practice, and I'm still gonna be at your event, and I did.
I understand that perfectly, because that's kind of like I said, it helped push me through that really, really difficult time. And so I know I tell like all of our instructors, our dancers and stuff, I'm like, hey, just keep an open line of communication.
Yes,
Let me know if like
that's-
emergencies happen. I get it. And I was just like, but before anybody becomes like a full-fledged instructor, I let them know, I'm like, just know you don't have weekends anymore. Like they're non-existent pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, granted, like I feel like with quinceañera kind of being business and the dancers and stuff, like I remember in college working at restaurants, being a waitress, all of that, a server, and I wouldn't get home until like after midnight. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is an awesome gig. You're done by like 9:30, 10 o'clock, if it happens to extend, which is rare, but like, who wouldn't want a gig that you
Right.
could still have your Friday and Saturday night to go out to the club if you wanted to?
Exactly,
And, like-
exactly. So we're gonna go ahead and they're gonna go into the question. So with you guys being the 2025 Quinceañera Best Quinceañera Choreography and dancers, how do you guys feel about having that title this year? Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, if I'm being honest, we were surprised. Like, we were surprised in the sense of because like with last year, we were nominated. We didn't win last year, right? But I remember just being like, oh, okay, well, I know we didn't I knew that we didn't like push it out as far as like votes and stuff. So, and then like even this year, the same thing. We didn't we mentioned it, but we didn't
Right.
like push it out. And so I was like, nah, we probably won't win. I was like, it's all good. And I was just like, we still love everybody, and you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And so then at the Emporium Expo, when the owner, her name escapes me, but the owner of the page.
Alicia.
Yes. Yes. She, well, I didn't know who she was at first, and she was like, hi, and, are you, I think she said, are you La Jolla, or, I forget, but anyhow, she was like, oh, here's the, she said,
Certificate.
no,
Oh.
she didn't, because I was like, oh, hi, I'm such and such. She introduced herself first, and I was like, how did the awards go? And then she was just like, oh, well, as a matter of fact, and then I was like, oh, hey, thanks. And
Nice.
so then showed them, hey, guys, we won. They're like, seriously? So yeah, I think we were all kind of shocked because, again, we didn't honestly, we didn't put a lot of weight in it. It
Right.
was just
Y'all
kind of
busy. I see it. You're even busy.
I mean, we keep
I
ourselves
think we
busy.
just performed too, and we came off. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, you were right before.
It was right before.
Yeah,
so-
it was like,
Yeah.
cool. Like,
Walking over there.
no,
Yeah.
it was right before. It was before. Yeah, it was before.
I just remember seeing it, doing last touch-ups and being like,
Because I was like,
hey.
Sierra, come over here for the picture. So, yeah, and so that's why we got the whole group together. But I remember us just kind of being like,
So
cool.
with last year it being the first annual of the competition, whatever, the competition, how did you guys find out you guys were nominated?
I
I think one of the boys showed the post.
Yeah, or either somebody sent us a message and was
Yeah.
like, hey, and then I looked and stuff, and then I was like, oh, cool. I don't know what this is, but cool.
I
So-
thought it was a scam because somebody sent it to me. Hey, you were nominated. I was like, what is this? And so that's when I messaged them. And then after that, they were like, oh, yeah, for this, you got to send me this. I was like, because how you get the, we'll promote for you on Instagram. You got to pay us $300. And then, no, I thought it was one of those. I was like, man. So I actually messaged her, and she had told me that what they do. She introduced herself and stuff. She was actually one of the ones that I did a podcast when I was in the studio, and the internet was cutting out. I actually interviewed them, and they're awesome people. So I kind of was wanted to know. I'm nosy, right? So I want to know who you are, where you are. So I was like, and I was like, why not do it on a podcast, right? So I had them come on, introduce themselves, what they do, trying to give information, advice for those having quinceañeras. So I want to share my platform with everybody. People are telling me you shouldn't do that. I'm like, why? Why not? There's room for everybody, right? There's 3,000 quinceañeras going on. There's only not four of you guys, but there's only little of you guys. You know what I mean? You can't win them all. They're not Pokemons. Got to catch them all. Got to catch them all because you'll be really busy. Really tired. You know what I mean? So, yeah, there's so many quinceañeras.
Those are wild weekends when we have a crazy amount. I think the most that we've had in one day is 9.
Oh, nine.
No, 9.
But y'all can't do them all though, right?
No, well, we
You
can't
have
be
it-
there for
exactly.
everybody.
No. I mean, other people, right? So you try to recruit for y'all, so y'all can have, other people a chance to get in the quinceañeras, right? So saying y'all ain't the only four that dance with La Jolla, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, but
Right.
that for instance, we only have so many coordinators that I actually feel comfortable sending to events, and so it's hey, if you want a coordinator, we only have this many available, And so if they call and they're like, happen to be past that
Right.
threshold of how many we have, then it's like, okay, well, then it's this much because we can't be there
Right.
that day.
And
But
so
we'll
with
still
it-
teach you.
Yeah, so in my case, like I'm the only choreographer, right? So if I'm like I can't do them, I want to get to know you guys. So I'm like, you know what, Carla Hoya, she has more, so I want to be able to pass the baton over to you guys. I can't do it. I already got this going on that I can't do it. So this is why I'm talking about like sharing a platform. I
No,
know
definitely.
you guys are not gonna scam them, and stuff like that. They're gonna get awesome service, So this is why I wanted to also get to know every company as well, And then plus you guys are on this side of town, and I'm the only one on my side of town doing this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, because you're more out shirts, right?
I'm more out on shirts
Yeah.
in Northeast side of New Braunfels. So I've gotten a lot of business out in New Braunfels, Seguin. You guys do them out of town as well? Yeah. So
Yeah, I think
you
we've,
know,
so
so
what, we've done Dallas,
Austin now?
Austin and all the
yeah.
different cities
So-
and towns around it. San
got
Angelo,
messages for different
Uvaldo,
places.
Uvaldo. Uvaldo's talking about me. It's Florida, right?
Yeah.
So we're done.
Well, Cotula, I think I've done.
I did one in Cotula. That was my first one out of town. Well, I did one in
Corpus.
Houston, but she would come over here because all the boys that she hired.
McAllen.
Yeah.
We're gonna do that was,
We went to San Angelo.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna do one that was pretty.
So how do you guys feel about like the whole traveling thing?
It's so much fun.
It is, right?
It's fun.
It
I
is.
love
Love
it.
traveling. Oh, that's good that you guys have something to do, being so young and stuff. And so, I mean, it's better than out there getting into trouble, right?
Definitely.
Because I think, because if you weren't dancing, where would you be at?
Ooh, I have no idea where I would be at. Let me see. I don't know.
Oh, school.
And be honest, and be honest, yeah.
No, but I'm saying like.
So for an
would you be
example,
doing
so-
anything else, do you think?
So for an example, this is why I would give everything to dance. So I was going down again the bad road. I think I have a friend, but they're not friends, but I could be either locked up or 6 feet under. That's the way I was going, So I gave everything to dance, So yeah,
So heavy to be
so
strong.
deep. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I am
no.
so serious.
Yeah, no, but I mean, it's you find your outlet that like gives you that peace and happiness.
And the personality I have
Of
now, I
course.
didn't have it back then. So this actually opened me up a lot as well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So, what is y'all's dance style? More like, what is? You can go down.
Joel is a shuffler.
Like for me,
Joel
the kind
likes
of
to
music I
shuffle.
love to dance is reggaeton.
Do you shuffle?
Shuffle, yeah.
Yeah?
I can shuffle.
Do a shuffle right now.
Oh man,
Do
you
it.
don't put me on the spot. I can't do it on the spot. I gotta have the
Do it
music.
now.
I gotta have the music. But like with me, I love what got me in the dance community, or they would say street dancing. That's where I'm at. The street dance community. Was I did a reggaeton, and everybody was like, man, nobody does a reggaeton. They're like, that's you, get on your thing. You got to keep on. So that's when I started, okay, fine. Like, that's my niche. So what is the kind of music that you just love to dance if you had to pick?
I think what is really, really good about the people that we have working with us and like everyone that we have in our group is that we aren't a group that's just gonna come out and we'll bongo for 5 minutes straight.
Ooh.
We're not the type of group that's just gonna come out and do hip hop for 10 minutes straight. Like what's good about us is that we touch different genres, and like you will see at expos, like we'll go do an expo and we won't even touch like wepa, nothing like that, but we'll do hip hop like all day. Then we'll go to another expo and we're doing vaquero, we're doing all kinds of stuff. So what's really good about like the people that we have, and especially with like working with Joel, is that we touch all the different types of genres, and so like we've been able to build well-rounded dancers. And I think
That's
that's
what's
what's
up.
really good about us is that we can do anything. So when we have quinces that say, oh, I just want to do this, and then I just want to do that.
K-pop.
K-pop, yeah.
Oh yeah. That was getting in.
That was a trip.
I
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
I remember the boys were like, Joel, we're for real doing a K-pop routine. And I was just like, you're going to do it and you're going to like it. I know, and when we were done with it, they were like, hey, that was actually pretty cool.
So I did the Filipino one. That was my first K-pop, and I was like, okay, that's pretty dope. Okay,
Yeah.
at first I was like, nah, man, but it was Young Juke Young.
Jungkook?
Yeah. So it was actually pretty cool. So After that, I had taken my a K-pop. I didn't. My phone died. Couldn't record it, so I took a K-pop dance class.
And you're like, and I ate that choreo up.
No, I didn't. No, actually,
You're like,
okay.
actually,
So
no.
like with me, so with me, it being more faster. I was kind of like I'm not a fast learner. You know, I have to practice. And I'll tell you, I got to practice more than the average person or whatever. You know what I mean? So no, I was still having to look side to side. And I was like, so I guess it's a good thing my phone died. No, but other than that, so what is a dance style that you kind of learned from somebody else?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, go. Like you were like, it's just like, yeah.
When I first started, I did not know what a wepa was.
Neither did I.
She said, oh, we're gonna do a wepa. I said, oh, okay. Let me look up a wepa tutorial really quick.
Yeah.
The basics, yeah. I had
That
to
one,
do that.
that was not my, that was not my go-to. I struggled with that one.
No, yeah, I would say like there's a good number of our boys. I think, and that's one of the things that I have actually really loved about just like La Jolla Platinum Crew like journey of everything is because like you'll see like Joel and you'll see like even Danny and you'll see like a lot of like I would say 100% of the boys, right? When they
Yes.
first started, you're like,
Oh,
hey.
you sure about this one?
Yeah,
You
but
sure you're gonna do it? And then he's gonna make it through. And then the boys that end up staying for a while, like they learn how to become performers. And because I'm like, ugh. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm very direct and very blunt with them, but in a loving way. We all
Right.
like we all soft bully each other. If that makes sense. They can like tell me stuff. They can tell me stuff of like, I mean, of course there's a line, right? But like we all pretty much like joke around with each other. And so but seeing their progress and just if you saw in the beginning and then see like their confidence levels now, you're like, who are you?
that's good. I'm proud of you
Let
guys.
me get that air out of your head right now because you're just like, let me bring your head down a little bit smaller because it's gotten a little big. But no, I mean, it's fun. We all kid around with each other and we can joke. And so yeah, if you only heard the things that we say to each other.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's really,
I can only imagine.
It's really funny. Yeah.
Awesome. So if anybody that's watching right now and they're thinking, man, I want to be a part of their group, but like, so how would they be a part of y'all's group?
It's through auditions. So
Okay.
we hold auditions like once, twice a year,
Okay.
depending. I need to actually hold another audition soon, just because boys grow up. People,
Right.
people graduate, and then
Yeah, they join the
Yeah,
military,
yeah,
and
they-
have kids, and
Yeah,
No, never- no?
usually our boys
So-
have been like already like gone for a
no,
while.
no, no,
before they-
because like my cousin, he's already 20s, he has a kid already
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
So no, not at 15. Don't have kids at 15, please. And it's crazy because I say. Because I've been doing this. I've been in this business for about. I think this is gonna be. Well, when I say 15 years, I was like, I've been. I get a call saying you did my quinceañera. Now it's time to do my daughter's quinceañera. I'm like, wait, I've been doing this for 15
Have you
years.
done their weddings yet?
No, I have not.
I've done some of my girls'
I've only done one
weddings.
wedding. Really?
I've done some of my girls' weddings, yeah. And I'm like, look, and they're like, oh my gosh.
I'm
So,
thinking to
like,
myself, if I get a call saying you did my daughter, so you got pregnant before your quinceañera or you were pregnant during your quinceañera? If I get a call saying you did my daughter's quinceañera 15 years ago, I'm like, the heck, like.
Wait, and so for like, they had another daughter?
No,
15
like
years?
if I did their quinceañera, then 15 years later,
Oh,
they call
that
me.
would be
Can you do
30
my?
years.
No.
No?
For their kid? No.
Yeah.
No.
Because if you did,
I
if
did
you
your
hers-
quinceañera, and you call me 15 years later saying that you want me to do your daughter's quinceañera.
So,
So that-
they had a baby at 15?
Yeah. No, that's saying like. Never mind.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I'm like, I'm doing all the
You were
math.
bad
in
at
my-
science too. No. Okay.
You're still
so
thinking
we
about
could
it.
be
Like,
around
no,
with-
no, no.
Well, I'll explain it off camera. Okay. Any advice that you would give another dancer?
Don't be so hard, like comparing yourself to others. Like
That's a good one.
like in the community of dance, like there is going to be people that are more advanced in certain aspects, different styles, more of like taking what you can learn from them and like, you know what, they did that really good. I'm going to do that when I dance. Like rather than trying to be like, oh man, like I
think
wish I
it's,
could do that.
Also, like, know that when you dance, it's not just like being able to execute the moves, it's performing them. And so performing and just like dancing are two totally different things, my opinion. Because like I'll tell groups of kids, I'm like, oh, y'all could put a little bit more into that because I'm kind of bored watching you. So, and it's true because like the whole point of, you know, their surprise dances and everything is to entertain their guests.
Right.
I mean, granted, it's for their birthday, it's for the show and
There's
stuff,
some
but
that
like,
you watch that, okay, this is getting boring, right?
yeah,
And you
no,
wanna be able
but
to-
it's because there's
yeah.
no energy behind it. And so it's the same thing with our dancers. I'm like, hey, y'all need to get lower. Y'all need to do this. Y'all need to do that. It's all about how you're performing and not just like getting through the moves. Yeah.
Extend the arms, yeah.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to an aspiring dancers?
An aspiring dancer. Let me see. You put me on the spot for this one.
I know,
I wasn't
right?
really prepared to answer this
It can
question.
be like anything, like
Gosh, math.
Let me see. As an aspiring dancer, like when I first started, don't give up, right? You gotta start somewhere, baby steps, right? If you don't get the move right away, break it down. When I tell my clients when I'm working with them, especially if they are not good at dancing right away, they have to work their way up to it, break down the step and use the music. Don't go off of the videos and stuff like that, especially if, you know, it's a choreographed routine. Some people have their own styles and they're not used to dancing specifically Jewel style or Sierra style. If you work with different instructors, you get different styles and you can't go, I know Sierra said it, she said it better than I did, but you can't try to look like someone else when you're dancing. You have to do it with your own style. So that would be my recommendation is find your
find your, yeah.
find your style and,
Yeah,
and
I
work
tell
with
I
that.
tell all of the instructors because like, you know, we have our meetings, we go through and we go over all of the choreo that we're going to be teaching for the week. And so then like whenever people first start, I'm just like, you got to find your teacher voice. I was like, find whatever style you're going to teach in and, you know, kind of go from there. But piggybacking off of what Marissa said, I think it's just more about don't give up. Don't compare yourself to others. Learn how to be a performer, but also don't close yourself off to other opportunities to learn other styles.
It sounds
That's
Yeah.
a good one too.
okay. Any of you guys, what kind of advice would you give an aspiring dancer?
Like, be like me.
I don't know, just get up and dance.
What? What is that?
Get on my level.
So any other last things you guys want to say? Do shout outs? Shout out to Miss Jewel. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I ever got to answer my question earlier. I just remember my answer, like what solidified, that's what it was. What solidified your joining dance community, something like that. It was a phrase. I don't remember what the phrasing was. But mine would be the community that is La Jolla, right? So when I first started, it wasn't exactly a meet cute, but it was the community of it all. Because when I first started, it was Jewel building back up right after COVID, and my brother had joined. And when I was first starting off, she told me to try to follow along. She was teaching a class, and when I did that, I tried to get the video from Sierra, but at the time we hadn't introduced ourselves yet, so
Okay.
she was like, no. No, like, I don't know you. You can get WhatsApp and you can get it from Jewel or someone. And I said, oh, okay. But after that, she's like the most friendly, bubbly person
Yes,
ever. So
yes.
I respect it. I was like, okay, you know what? That's okay. I would be the same way.
She doesn't
And-
even go here.
but to be fair, I was new. I was trying to put myself
Yeah.
out there, trying to open up.
Never hit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
And even Jewel, like seeing her teach and like just watching all the classes and
So-
how much heart and soul she puts into it. It really inspired
It's
me
all
so
the
much.
vibes, and I have to agree with that too. The day I met her, it was all nothing but vibes. You know what I mean? I didn't get no stuck up attitude or anything like that. I loved your vibes. You're awesome. It kind of matched mine. Oh, are we both Geminis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your birthday's
Mine's
the
the 16th.
16th. I'm the 13th.
Yeah.
There we go. Wow. So, any last words before we end this? Any last words? Anything? Any advice you guys want to give to anybody watching? Any potential clients? Say buckle up. Oh, I think say buckle up.
Buckle up. That's the law. No, no, yeah. Thank you for inviting
You're
us.
welcome,
We
and
had a
thank you
good
guys for
time.
doing this. I had a lot of fun.
I wanted to make sure to invite others
Yeah.
to it, just because like how what the progression has been over the years from me starting by myself to being what it is today. Like honestly, couldn't have been done without everybody
a
working
team.
as a team, and I love everybody that's gone through is to come. All the families, like the support that I've gotten from just the parents, and they're just like,
And the
"We love
community.
La Jolla." Yeah,
The community.
like it's a for me, it's one of those things where I'm just like, man, they still like remember me, and they're like, oh, Miss Jules, we miss you.
So there you guys have it, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I'm glad you yourself. You guys weren't like nervous like you were in that video, right? It's okay. But see, I think honestly, my advice for you guys is be yourself. Right? If you got to do a video, be yourself. My thing is I can't act professional. I can just only be me. So just be yourself. You got to do any videos.
Oh, that's it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're
Yeah. They have,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then so like you'll see the whole process of the wall back here, and how it was made and everything. Shout out to all the work
You
my
guys
husband
subscribe
did.
to mine, subscribe to
Yes.
theirs as well. They're
Yeah,
a lot of
so-
fun, and you can see their growth as well.
New post drop tomorrow.
Yes, new post will drop tomorrow for
Awesome.
sure.
I'll tune in.
Every Wednesday is the goal.
So next week we are going to have Marcus Morales from NXG Dance Crew. So be sure to tune in that one. That one we actually had him on the old podcast, and YouTube actually muted the whole conversation. It was a lot of fun information, you guys. We covered a lot as well, different styles. So I don't know if you guys if you guys know that style, but tune in. It's a different style. I didn't even know that style was around still. So tune in. Maybe a different style. Maybe have him come do a class.
Me and Marcus have been trying to, like, every once in a while we'll like message each other like, oh, we should collab, and it just never happens.
It's
just 'cause-
the timing. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
But I had so much fun, you guys. So tune in for next week. That will be on Friday, March 28th at 5:30. Tune in with Marcus Morales from NXG Dance Crew. Signing off, you guys. My name is Demetrio, and this is On the Dance Floor podcast with all the right moves, La Jolla. Deuces.